Hello everyone, I'm Bruffy1322 and welcome to week 45 of the Content Creator live streams. We're all set up in the playlist, all ready to go straight away, so we'll get straight into it. On PS4 this time, back for the second time on PS4. And we got another 7 tracks to go through. Once again, we got some event style racing tracks. We got a stunt track, as you probably see from the thumbnail. We've got an off-road track as well, so a bit of a variety. We're starting this one with supers, no top 4 as always. I don't know what to use. Let's use. I'm in a Zentorno mood. I've been in a Zentorno mood for a while. It's such a good car. Did you have a nice break? I did have a nice break, thank you. So again, for those who don't know about this, we test created tracks from you guys. If you want to submit your track to be tested, then the links are all in the description. The links for all these tracks as well are in the description, in the order that we play them. So if you are on PS4 and you want to get them for yourself, then feel free, just get the links, add them to your game. It's fun. I'm looking forward to seeing some different tracks. Haven't raced. Oh Jesus! Don't like close camera. Oh. Haven't raced in GTA for a while. Well, it's been a week, I suppose. Haven't really done much of anything for the last week when it comes to streaming and whatnot. So, yeah, again, the way that this works is, well, for those who don't know, yeah, we take track submissions from you guys. You guys submit your circuits. They get rated by a group of 10 track testers. Can you not do that outside, please? 10 track testers.
He's a scumbag! He's an absolute scumbag!
There's 10. Oh, he moved backwards. Yeah. Oh man, I got absolutely destroyed. God damn it. Great start. So there's 10 people who rate the tracks from 1 to 10. Jesus, what has been happening at the start of this race? And then the average score is calculated for each track. And if it gets a score of over 1 to... We don't rate them on 1 to 10, sorry. It's rated on 1 to 5. Holy cow. I don't know what's been going on at the start of this race. It's been an absolute nightmare. They're rated 1 to 5, sorry, each track. And if it gets a score of over 4, then it is considered community verified and it gets raced on these live streams. Bruffy.com/verified will get you to a website that will tell you all the information that you need, basically. All the details, all the nuances. There's a spreadsheet linked there as well with all the submissions and all their scores and any feedback. It's all on that site, and that's all linked down below in the description as well. Everyone's been playing Red Dead Redemption 2, clearly. I know that must be true. I mean, I have. I do miss the Zentorno a lot. I'm enjoying this though. I'm normally not the biggest fan of city circuits, but I've got to say this is... I like this. I feel like there's so much smoothing around the track that the creator might as well have smoothed off that bit that we've just gone over, because it's quicker to get the bumps, like, and just cut the corner completely. Might as well smooth that as well. So this was submitted, oh god, too wide. This was submitted as an event style track. So again, as I was mentioning basically in last week's last week's stream that event style tracks are kind of held to a bit of a higher standard than just sort of regular playlist tracks, so you don't want to see any lampposts or anything that can affect the outcome of a race that isn't, you know, driver skill. And you can either submit your track as an event style circuit to be held to that level with pit lanes and stuff like that, or just a regular playlist style race where as long as it's a good bit of fun, then that's all you want. But yeah, I like this. This is good. This is a great way to start us off. I'm enjoying this. Oh, Jesus. I don't think that Autark is going to end up finishing the race, because obviously we banned the top 4 for this kind of supercar race. Top 4 not allowed. Autark being one of those top 4. But he definitely tried to go in an area that there wasn't any space right there. This was the bit that I was talking about. This might as well be smoothed over as well, because it's better to just cut across it with the bumps. If you're gonna, unless there's no props usage left, but if you, it's so smooth in other areas. Really nice track this though. I like this. This is a good city circuit racing experience. I think I've mentioned everything that I need to mention with regards to the testing and how it all works. Can I now settle into more chilled out live stream mode, talking about the races? A few bad hitboxes, but overall a good track. Yeah, the metal barriers could be minimized. Metal barriers aren't great, but the thing is that the idea with this is that even though, you know, tracks are being showcased on these streams, it doesn't mean to say that all the tracks that we see are perfect tracks. I think the closest that we've had to a perfect track, I mean, is shown in the ratings as well, where you can see the ratings for all the tracks that have been submitted. But West Mirror GP that we played on the PS4 stream 3 weeks ago, I think that's got a score of like 4.94 or something like that. I think there was only one person who didn't give it a score of 5 from the testers. But all the other tracks, you've got to realise that, you know, they could get scores of 5, and the tracks that we play here are scored 4 or above on average. So that means that because no track yet has gotten a score of 5 across the board, there's at least one person every time who thinks that it's not a perfect track. So the idea from these streams is to showcase kind of the best of what is created. It's not showcasing only absolute perfect tracks. So we can always find something to, you know, comment on and try to give suggestions on what to improve, all that kind of stuff. And obviously there's just a matter of personal taste with tracks as well. People like different things. I've really enjoyed this track though. I like the layout, I like the smoothing that's been done. Maybe it's the fact that I've been back in the Zentorno. Because man, I miss the Zentorno racing days. Just gonna keep hold of top 10 after that nightmarish start. It's a good track, I like that. I think today's stream has one track that got a 4.00 rating, being on the absolute limit. Yeah, and that's true. You know, there are going to be some tracks that we play that are on that limit. They get a score of 4.00, so every single tester thought it was or maybe one person thought it was a 3.5 and one thought it was a 2.5, a 4.5, you know, that sort of thing. So it is an average, but yeah, 4 is the cutoff. So it's quite a high cutoff, really. You know, to get an average score of 4 is pretty difficult. So the tracks are all very good quality. But I don't think there's ever a case of a perfect track. I don't think it exists. Netrex, thank you for the 27-month Twitch subscription. Appreciate it. Is this the gestation period for triplets? Happy birthday also. All the stream memes. Thank you, Netrex. It was fun. GG to the Autark who pulled off at the end. Nice to see the GG emote. The Second for Life emote, you might remember 2 weeks ago when we did the PS4, the PC stream, content creator stream, we got to 31 members. Let's do 3 laps. Sports, no top 3 for sports. And then we'll wait the full time. Yeah, we got up to 31 members, as you can see right there. So I unlocked another remote slot, and the YouTube members pretty much voted between 3 options, and there was an identical vote between the 3 options. So I went for Second for Life. So the Second for Life emote now exists on YouTube as well. Right. Trying to get the bot in here since it doesn't seem to be working. How did you guys like or dislike the premiere the other day or yesterday of the random one? For those who were there watching the video, you know, live. Worth doing or not? What should we use? I don't want to use the filter again. I want to use something different. Oh, the neon. I always forget about the neon on tracks that I don't know. It seems, do you play GTA 5 on PC sometimes? Yeah. I try to give as much time to each platform as possible. Whether it's these streams or Twitch streams. It seems that premieres divide opinion. I like the idea of them, of being able to like watch a video together and talk on it in a live stream style format. It's just over a new video. But it seems it very much divides opinion. There's a lot of people who don't like it. But I don't know why, because it doesn't take anything away, I think. I don't like it doesn't remove the experience for people who like the people who don't get there for the premiere just watch it as a video as normal. So I don't feel like it changes the experience for anybody, but some people aren't fans. I don't know, it was worth testing it. Whether I'll continue to do it, I don't know. Yeah, just give me that acceleration from the neon. It's not the best thing to use as an Apex prop, if I remember, that tyre thing. Yeah, I guess that's a fair point. If you miss the start of a premiere, you're coming into a video like halfway through, and then you can't then what I don't know actually. Can you watch that? Can you like skip back? I'm assuming that you can't, and you'd have to wait for the premiere to finish. Wow, breaking his own well and truly missed there. Yeah, maybe it's not something that I use very often. I just sometimes think it's quite fun to be able to watch a video together. I did make a mistake though. I did put the premiere live way too early. I put it like I announced it like 2 hours early, and then I didn't realize that people were going to get a notification for that like 3 hours before the video was actually due to go live. So yeah, that was a mistake. And then I did it for like 10 minutes before the video went live for the second time around. You can skip back. Okay. Oh, this is where I lose out big time on the straights with the neon. Get it back on acceleration though. Neon's perfect for tracks that you don't know very well. Anyway, let's actually talk about the track, shall we? Another nice city circuit. Oh, I hit that wrong. I'm not too sure about those props, the big tyres as Apex props. Maybe someone who knows better can tell me in the chat, because I know that I know many props that aren't good as Apex props. I know many props that are good as Apex props. But that one I haven't really come across before. Oh. Does it have wonky hitboxes? That pole on the left there could do with being covered as well, since it is an event style track, this one. That needs to be covered, you can't just leave that there. There, this on the left. Oh, maybe that answers my question. This, yeah, this is these Apex props are probably the worst thing on this track. I think you've got to be using the big stunt targets instead of those, especially if you're wanting an event style track. Again, event style tracks are held to a higher standard where the only thing that should change the outcome of a race is the driver skill. And if you're going, what the? If you're putting something in that's gonna cause issues in terms of hitboxes. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I will read it after this race. Yeah, the reason that I'm using the neon is, and the reason that I say the neon is so good, is because its acceleration is amazing when you don't know a track. If you don't know a track, then you're not going to be able to utilize, say, a Feltzer in the corners, because you don't know exactly for the first couple of laps how quick you can go around all the corners. So the neon is quite handy to basically, you know, use that acceleration. But yeah, obviously the Feltzer is what you would choose when the top three are a band, all things being equal, once you're experienced with the track. But yeah, those Apex props could do with being changed, to be honest. I don't like those big tyres. And that one lamppost on our left side, coming around this corner, here on the left, there, that needs to be covered as well. Someone hits that, it causes carnage behind, and you don't want that on an event style track. So again, there's always improvements that can be made to even tracks that get showcased here. The first two tracks that we've got tonight have been event style tracks, again with pit lanes and submitted as being capable to host high level racing events. And that's going to be the same for the last two tracks as well. So the first two and the last two are both event style tracks, are all event style tracks. The third track is a stunt track. The fifth track is an off-road track, and the middle track that we've got, oh Jesus, is a regular playlist track, what I was talking about earlier, where it doesn't have to be able to hold event style races, just for a bit of fun, but for proper racing. I like the layout of that. I really like the layout. I just think it's held back by the hitboxes of some of those props and not being 100% down to the driver if it's being submitted as an event style track. But the layout is really good. Another nice one indeed. Yeah, those Apex props need changing to stunt targets. Have to be. DG5IV with the €2 super chat. Hey, great stream and great videos. Thank you very much. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here watching, whether you're watching the live stream as we speak or watching this as a video afterwards. Okay, so the first two races from a performance perspective have not gone well, but it's not what this is about anyway. Time to have a bit of fun. Retro custom sports only. I don't think I have a retro custom sports car. Should I turn customs off or just deal with having a non-custom car? How many laps should I do? I'm not even 75 seconds per lap. So we can do, let's put it on 6 laps. Let's leave it on 5 laps. Flaming doesn't like this tracker. I mean, it must be good if you absolutely hate and despise it, and you still gave it a 4. I don't know what to do with custom vehicles. I'll just leave customs on. Everyone else can have a custom vehicle and I won't. I think it's going to be a, I mean, this is the vehicle. This is the Elegy or Comet. Guess I'll take the Elegy. This is the track from the thumbnail. So, as you probably saw from the thumbnail, it basically has 6 entry and exit ways on a big trefoil shaped thing, and I've never played it, but just looking at it tells me that it's going to be absolute carnage. So again, this is kind of a similar to what we did with in the very first PS4 stream 6 weeks ago, where it's kind of, you know, a little bit of fun. Oh, make it through. Something stunty, something fun, something a bit more light-hearted. Not everything has to be all serious racing. And I'm in a stock Elegy Retro Custom, because of course. Oh! That was actually a bit challenging, I like that. Normally those are all just so predictable. Oh, that's actually a bit challenging as well. RIP bit rate, by the way. I already like the challenge with the obstacles in this race. It's just something different to what we're used to seeing with stuff like this. It's always so boring when there's these sorts of things. Like there's especially with Rockstar races, there's like, oh Jesus, there's like one spinning circle and it's just easy to avoid. No, that's not easy to avoid. That is difficult. Oh, and then there's the crossovers as well. Wow, I'm in second. How did that happen? I don't think I'm at too much of a disadvantage with having a stock vehicle with all the boosts and things. It's quite the experience, this, from a visual perspective as well. Crystal Space Void. Don't hit anybody. Into the lead! In my stock Elegy Retro Custom. Oh. Close. It's kind of telling, I feel, that I'm having my best performance on the least proper racy race that we're going to play during this stream. Maybe that's just my calling now. Maybe I need to stop trying to do proper racing and do stuff like this instead. Oh, I keep clenching every time we get to those crossovers. Clearly a stock Elegy Retro Custom is the way to go for this race. Forget all the custom versions. Who needs engine, turbo, transmission and brakes? Well, you definitely don't need brakes. This is good, I like this. This is fun. I'm okay with this. This is quite the experience. And it's got a blimp, so I mean that automatically makes it perfect. Yeah, who needs a custom? That's exactly right. I like that the crossover isn't too bad as well. Jesus, I'm coming around to lap people. This is dicey. Yeah, the crossover's not so bad that you might actually end up hitting people. Like, you could hit people, but it's not gonna happen every single time and annoy you. This is better than 100% of Rockstar stunt races. I think you'll find there's a lot of tracks that we've played throughout the course of these content creator streams that are better than all of Rockstar, whatever Rockstar's put out. But yeah, I totally agree. This is one of those things. Like, this is good fun. This is proper creation talent with some imagination and a bit of challenge and just good fun. But Rockstar, even when they were verifying tracks, never used to verify stuff like this. I don't know why though. This is just great. Oh, that was close. I'm clenching a little bit now. Into the closing stages. Can you believe it? In the stock Elegy Retro Custom, I never win stream races anymore. Success! Okay, so there's definitely a pace difference between a stock and a custom vehicle. 7 seconds per lap quicker, but I managed to hold on to it. I was only 3 seconds ahead at the end. Didn't realise it was that close. Yes! Second plus one. That's great fun. That's a great creation. How did that get verified? He said in the chat. Because it's great fun. It's a good creation that is well made and has some inventiveness and challenge still to it. Not all these races have to be proper hardcore, you know, event style races. We can have some fun too. Oh, there was a mid-air collision we saw. I think we saw one earlier as well. I had quite a few near misses during that. Quite a few moments where I avoided people, so I'm pretty happy about that. That normally doesn't happen. Why are we having so many salty people in the chat? This really isn't that hard to make, and neither is it all that creative. Shut up. It's a good track. Chill out. I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah, using a stock vehicle, in the end, I was 7 seconds per lap off the pace because I used a stock vehicle, but it was more because I just didn't run into too many issues and crashes that I think I managed to do well on that one just for missing everything. Bruffy playing too much Red Dead, he's turning savage. This is how Bruffy retires in his old age, he plays stunt races. So, this one is our one sort of normal race, playlist style race. Let's do Sports Classics, let's do... we'll do 6 laps. I think that should work out about right. So this was submitted as not an event style track. It's still a proper racing track, but it's more of a playlist track. So it's meant for, you know, you pop it into a playlist for a bit of fun. You're not going to necessarily use it for you're not necessarily going to use it for like high level 30 player event style events. So this is the only one out of the more proper style tracks that we have that is like that. But I tried to make that distinction when we come to these tracks so people are aware. This is the one that got the 4.00 rating. Overall good, but it had a glaring issue holding it back. Let's see how it goes with a lobby. Okay. So this will be interesting to see why it got a 4.00. So this just scraped in. Let's see. See if we identify what the issue is straight away as well. Not everyone has the skill set to create something like Drag Queens of Los Santos. It's true. It's true. I don't mind going to the back so much when it's oh, I thought I wasn't going to get it. God damn it. When there's less people is what I was going to say. Oh. There's a lamppost gone over, so there's one issue. Frankensteiner. I would use the Frankensteiner just for the sound of the engine. It's the best sounding engine in the game. But then when we did an all Frankensteiner race, it was great. A lot of fun. I don't much like the destructible props that are on this track. There's no need for them. And the worst thing about them is that they end up getting strewn across the road. And then people have issues on them, especially those black and yellow barriers. The blimp apex at the end. Yeah, on the final corner. Again, because this is more of a fun style playlist race, the issues that I think are here aren't as bad as what they would be if this was trying to be an event style track again. But that should be covered over as well here. If someone has an issue there, you're going to end up straight on the opposite side of the track and potentially take somebody else out. But yeah, those black and yellow stripe barriers are no good. Someone hits one of those and then it's all over the road and people start having issues on them. And I feel like that apex should just be the apex. The checkpoint is too far out wide. It was it's obviously being placed there in the thought of having the destructible props there. Those cones, those very thin cones, are kind of showing where the apex is, but those get knocked over almost immediately and then you've got no point of reference. So you just don't try to make fake apexes and have space on the inside. The apex should be the apex. Because people will miss the checkpoint because you naturally just cut the corner as much as you can in a racing situation. And then obviously on the downhill from the courts centre, there's the lampposts on the inside of the track on the apexes. Playlist style races can get away with more stuff, you know, they don't have to have a pit lane and stuff like that. But there are some things that you still should be missing out, and this lamppost in particular, and that one really, they need to be covered. You can't have open and that one Can't really have open lampposts like that, even on a track that's aiming to just be a bit of fun on a playlist style race. Yeah, good tip, dynamic props should be nowhere near the racing line. They should just be nowhere near the track in general, apart from used as maybe signposts or something to as a there you go, there's someone who went too wide and could have ended up on the, you know, if someone was coming down on this side of the track, made a mistake there. So yeah, the thing is, I've been trying to mention some of the negatives because this did just scrape in as a 4.00, but you know, it isn't trying to be an event style track, so it's not, you know, being, it's still, you know, you can still race on it, it's still a good bit of fun. There are some things that are holding it back from getting a better score, but it's a fun track. It's got a good layout. I like the layout, especially, you know, some of the elevation changes and the way that it goes around the court center and creates new roads out of stunt pieces and stuff like that is really good, you know, creating some new areas to race around. See, it is really, it's a fun track to race on. It just does have a few small things holding it back from, you know, a creation perspective. Oh, gotta be letting me past for that one, surely. I think he did. The blimp on the last corner as well is no good. That needs to be one of those what are they called? Gas tankers that everybody else uses basically for tight turns. And yeah, this checkpoint should just allow you to, the tree there should be the apex, or there should be something there to denote the apex, like one of those green gas tankers. It shouldn't just be open and then the checkpoint defines the apex, because people will miss it. It's just natural that people, and using dynamic props to show an apex is no good, because they just get knocked down almost immediately and then you've got nothing. But the reason that I'm pointing all these things out is to try and give some tips to anybody else. You know, this is all about, horrible. This is all about learning what to do and what not to do yourselves if you're creating tracks and whatnot. But I like it. I like the layout. I think it's good fun. It's a good fun circuit. I was enjoying that. While it may not be in an ideal location, it's still a blimp. The diesel tanks, yes, the diesel tanks are what are used for apex props. We can just listen to this wonderful engine sound. But yeah, there's no point. Dynamic props are the worst thing about that track. Apart from the two lampposts on this downhill section, on the apexes here, the dynamic props, you just need to get rid of all of them and actually use some proper props for apexes. Because apart from that, it's a really nice layout. I think it flows quite nicely. It's a good challenge, even though it is all stunt props. Because it's a short lap, it really works nicely. But yeah, absolutely no dynamic. That's just a general rule. Dynamic props should be nowhere close to where anybody's going to be driving on a track. And there are certain props that you can use and certain props that you shouldn't use when it comes to apex props. The green diesel tanks sunk into the ground are the best for tighter turns. The big stunt targets are the better for longer turns. Pretty much anything else, apart from those like hay feeder things, whatever they are, or hay in general, I think works as well. Anything beyond that, they all just have bad hitboxes, like metal barriers, and having space open and expecting people to not hit any dynamic props and use that for the apex is no good. But I like the track. I like the layout. I'd really enjoy it if just there weren't any dynamic props and those things were fixed on it. I think I understand why that got a 4.00, but with those changes, it could. This is a rally cars, by the way. Let's use rally cars for this. It could definitely like have a big improvement in its score from some small changes. I think because those are big things to get wrong with those dynamic props. Yeah, no flash, obviously. Rally cars, but no flash. I could put non-contact on. Yeah, concrete pipes 45 degrees into the groundwork as well. Don't worry about it, Axel. That overtake. I know. I'm rusty too. So this is our rally circuit for this one. Should I leave it on 6 laps? I did it. I put it on non-contact. I felt like it was a better idea for this kind of rallycross style thing. When I say rally, it's actually a rallycross track. Or it seems like it is. Normally rally tracks aren't this small. Rallycross tracks in general are so small when they're aimed for like 4 to 6 to 8 players on contact. I guess I'll not get the boost and then go off from there. Some people went on the Joker lap, I think. They went straight on. Maybe they intended to. Rallycross tracks in general have Joker laps. There was some hay. Hay can be used as apex props as well, I think. It has okay checkpoints, hit points, what am I saying? Hit boxes, Jesus. Interesting seeing a rallycross track around here. It's utilising so much stunt road as well. Oh. Damn it. My heady shoes. I think 6 laps is going to be a little bit too much. Should have put it on 5. Never mind. Oh, that's where the start line is. Interesting. I really like that. That first part of the track is really good. This is really interesting because it's like we're outside now on the normal sort of dirt roads, and then we go in this big structure, which is a pretty cool creation, I've got to say. It's like an indoor rallycross stadium circuit thing. Quite challenging as well. There's some very, very challenging sections. You know, when it comes to car control. Oh, I've messed up there again. Not as bad as last time, but still. It's interesting that there's some road, like bits of road that have been smoothed out and some bits haven't. I feel like there's one or two places where there's like a few too many things that you can hit that are just naturally part of the like that area of the map, like concrete poles and tubes and stuff like that that you can't really remove or anything. But apart from that, it's got a good layout. It's a big challenge. I think this is one of the most challenging rallycross tracks I've raced on, to be honest. And not because it's like annoying in terms of some rallycross tracks and some off-road tracks can just be so unpredictable in terms of the way that the bumps are on the off-road sections that it's more annoying than actually challenging. Whereas this actually feels like a good challenge that you can predict once you've done like a few laps, but it's still difficult to nail it correctly. I like this. I am a fan of rallycross. As we know from the rallycross event I did all those years ago. This is a good track. And I get to use the Omnus, so it's even better. Definitely not the right way to go there, I'm sure. Panic horn. Hold it. Oh, close. And that's why you can use those hay bales as props. Because if that had been something else, like a metal barrier or something like that, the hitbox probably would have sent me flying there through no fault of my own. The hitboxes are, well, there's basically invisible hitboxes on a lot of props. You can use the camber in certain sections as well of the track to keep a bit of extra momentum and speed. But again, it's a challenge because you've got to nail it. You've got to like nail the position of the car so that you're going to hit that camber. And if you're a little bit out, you're going to go flying off the other edge of it. Every time I hit that barrier. Yeah, it's good this. Good rallycross, good challenging rallycross track. Five laps would have been enough. Did one lap too many. Never mind. Oh my god. I can't believe I managed to save that. I thought I was gone. Oh wow. This is a four-way fight for the lead now as well. I'm the lone Omnis in a sea of Tropos rallies. Scumbags. Every time I can't get that corner right. is intense. Four-way fight for the lead on the final lap. Oh, it was so close! Oh, it was so close! Oh, that was intense. I thought I'd gotten it right at the end. Second for life, of course. Of course, second for life. By less than 1/10 of a second. What a race. What a race. GG's. Can't believe how close that was. Great track that, I enjoy that a lot. That's a great track. Three-quarters of a hundredth of a... Three-quarters of a tenth... Yeah, three-quarters of a tenth of a second. Joker laps are longer laps. We don't require them to be done during streams like this, stream races. That was intense. What a great end. Top three separated by less than a second separating the top three. My little Omnus, the little Omnus that could. That was fun. That's one of the most fun races I've had from a race perspective and just like everything just coming together on these YouTube streams since we started up again. That was so close. That was good. That was great fun. That final lap was intense. I didn't think I was going to get it. I didn't think I was going to even like get up to the top. But then it all just came together right at the end. Craziness. Yeah, I agree with that, Axel. The first track in that area that actually kind of works. Let's do 3 laps in... Let's do supers, but allow the top 4. And then we'll do muscle for the final race. So you can have the top 4 in this one. Top 4 is fine. That was intense. Sorry I didn't speak for the final lap of that race, but obviously I'm sure you can understand why. I was just in it. Totally in it. If I recall correctly, there was lacking lamppost coverage in some section, but it wasn't in a super dangerous spot. Alright, so we've done our sort of three separate tracks. And now we're back to some... What should I use out of the top 4? I might use the XA21. We're back to our our last two tracks are event style tracks again, same as the first two. So again, they're held to a bit of a higher standard. They need to have pit lanes, all that kind of stuff. Blows dust from the Wagner. Yeah, it's not very often that we do top 4 supercar races anymore. It's more interesting with the rest of them. City track special tonight. I know we've had quite a few city tracks. Don't normally. Alright. Carnage. Absolute carnage. Verstappen sticking to his Sultan RS love, regardless of what kind of super. Oh, Jesus, that's not nice. Tried to. It was not a good position for me to be in there. This is an engine sound I dislike. It's funny enough, I don't get people's love of the engine sound of the XA21, in all honesty. Well, no, I get why people like it, but I don't subscribe to the same point of view. This is a bit of a challenge, this track. Oh, there was a lamppost that needs covering. Yeah, we probably should have played this during daytime. It's one of those tracks where you kind of need to have an... Oh, Jesus! Have an idea of where you're going. And it's harder to know where you're going at night because things are... Yeah, not as clear. There's a lot that you can hit. There's quite a few tight sections. When it comes to these event style tracks, oh, there's a lamppost to be covered on the outside there as well. That's horrible. I hate that. What I was going to say was, when it comes to these event style tracks, my primary thought when I'm driving them is, would I want to host my event on here? An MCC race, for example. And so far I'd be a little bit cautious of doing it on this one. And I think it's probably one of the... I don't know whether I think that about any of the other event tracks that we've had, but there's a lot that can go wrong on a track, on this track, it looks like. A little bit of like ambiguity on which way to go in certain sections when you can split at one side or another. There's a few lampposts that definitely need covering. But I really, really dislike that lamppost sticking up in the middle of the track. Would you want to host an MCUC race at all? Well, that's true. Like, it's okay, it's serviceable as a racetrack. I think I would look more kindly upon it if it was, you know, sort of submitted as a playlist style circuit. Not trying to be an event style circuit, but with it trying to be that, with it being submitted as an event style circuit, you have to question some of the areas of the track that definitely don't lend themselves very well to, say, 30 players racing at high speed all together and trying to overtake and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've seen it. I like the layout. Again, there's very few city tracks that I can kind of get away with, and this is kind of closer to the edge of I'm okay with it. That I absolutely hate that. Just make it the apex. So I think I can understand why this was also one of those that, you know, just kind of scraped in with a 4.0 something or whatever it was. Because yes, it's good, and it's, you know, it's good enough to be showcased, it's good enough to be community verified, say, but it does still need some improvement to make it, you know, perfect from an event racing perspective. I think it's not much that it needs. It just, I don't know, a little bit of fine tuning, I think, in some areas. I'm pretty sure this was submitted as a playlist. Oh, well, on the... Wait, that's the creator. Okay. If you meant to submit it as a playlist style race, then you must have submitted it as an event style race accidentally. Because on the spreadsheet that we got, it's listed as an event style track. But that kind of changes things, because if you actually did intend it to be more of a playlist style race, then you can get away with some of these aspects, I would say, anyway. Because it is a fun track. It's a fun track to have a race on. You know, it's high speed in the city, tight sections, so you're going left, right, you know, and trying to work your way through certain sections. So as a playlist style race, I'm a little bit more, you know, I'm a little bit happier with that, honestly. But I still think the things that I've said still could be improved. You know, just because it is submitted as a playlist style circuit doesn't necessarily mean that it is able to get away with having some issues. I don't like that section as well. I've just noticed. I've just realised that whole section that we've just been on with whoever that was, with all those lampposts, isn't the best. But yeah, with the right cars, I think, and as a playlist style race, that I can see how that can be fun. But there's still plenty of room for improvement on that, I would say. Yeah, the layout is very good. Yeah, that's the thing. The layout is what makes that track stand out. It just needs better fine-tuning on the propping and stuff, I think. I agree with that. But again, all of the tracks that we play here have gotten a score of 4 or above. And there's a lot. I think we've had like just over 20 tracks that have been verified on PS4 and nearly 100 that have been submitted and tested. So there are a lot of tracks that, you know, aren't as good that get submitted. Alright, this is our final track. So again, the links for all of these tracks, if you want to get any of them, they're all down below in the description. In the yeah, put it on noon. In the order in which we've played them as well. And then we've got our final track just to finish everything off. that we do every week to keep the playlist to 20 players. Yeah, another city track. Been loving the city tracks tonight. Again, I play the tracks on streams and they get tested and all that kind of stuff. Everything's always done in the order in which they're submitted. So whilst I do sort of maybe 1 week I'll move a track up if it's like a rally track and we've got all event style tracks, say for example, and it would just be boring showing all those, I'll put a rally track further up the order or something like that. But in general, everything's played in the order it's submitted, at least on a stream by stream basis. These track showcases always on YouTube only? Yes. I mean, they always go up as a video afterwards as well. You can check the playlist. That's also linked in the description. All the previous episodes are all in the playlist. This one's gone pretty quick, actually. I've gotten a bit better with sorting out the length and getting the length of tracks right, apart from the rally track that we did. I left that a bit too long, but good first corner, boys. Yeah, I feel like I can either make the tracks, do the tracks a little bit longer for each track, or maybe add an extra couple of tracks if needed in future. I like having the 7 tracks every week sort of thing, and it's just about finding the right amount of time. I don't want to spend too much time on each track, and then it kind of gets a little bit boring seeing the same track for so long. There's only so much that you need to showcase, but then I don't want to just skim over them too quickly as well. And I also don't want the entire live stream to end up being too long, These live streams being over 2 hours I think would be too long. Oh, Jesus. That's one hell of a dive. But how do you guys feel? For those of you who are here in the chat and in the comments if you watch this as a video afterwards. How do you guys feel about the length of this one in particular? The length of the length of time that we've given to each track, and then the length of the stream or the video overall. Has this been about right? Is it a little bit too short per track? A little bit too long? You'd prefer more tracks and shorter each time? What? Feels like we've done the same track 4 times now. That's because they've all been city tracks. It's the same when we play many Blaine County tracks all in the same stream. I'd rather see 21 lap races. God damn it. Just a reminder that when you do click on the links for any of these tracks, one of the new things with the new Rockstar Social Club these days is that you have to be signed in to make the links work. If you get an error message, it's because you're not signed in. You gotta sign into Rockstar Social Club and then click the links and you'll get the links for the job will come up. Perfect as it is, this is good. I think this has been a pretty good... Damn it, I'm trying to read the chat whilst also racing. This is what I normally do on my Twitch streams. I don't do it as much on the YouTube streams because I'm trying to concentrate on the tracks and stuff, but I feel like this has been a good pacing for these live streams. A good amount of time on each track. Not too much, just about right. Kind of, I'm aiming for like 10 miles per track, maybe like 6 or 7 minutes per track, that sort of thing, which seems about right, I think. Right, so this track. Submitted as an event style circuit again. Lampposts could be covered over. There's a few places, like there's a wall there, but there could be a wall on the previous little bit of road as well. I like this tunnel. This is pretty cool. Bite-sized chunks of racing goodness, yes. I think all the city circuits that we've played tonight have had one thing in common, and it's the layouts in particular. The layouts have been really good. Quite a challenge, interesting lamppost on the left there, that should be covered over as well. I'm going to point out every single lamppost when it comes to critiquing these event style circuits, because if you want to be an event circuit, you've got to cover everything in my eyes. You can't let anything potentially change the outcome of a race that isn't the driver's skill. So if you hit a lamppost, someone hits a lamppost and then it affects the person behind through no fault of their own, that's a bad track. That should just be a wall there as well. Save on prop usage. But again, the layout is good. Layout is fun, it's a challenge. I'm glad we did it in muscle. Those who've been watching these content creator live streams for a while now will know my stance when it comes to event style tracks and lampposts and things. I mean, the beautiful thing about track creation and stuff like that is not everyone has to think the same thing and agree on the same thing. There are some things that are objectively better from track creation, like checkpoint placement and making sure things make sense that way, but people like different things, and that's fine. Any feedback I give to tracks during these streams, nobody has to listen to. Absolutely, I'm nitpicking. That's the whole point. I mean, if a track gets a score of, say, a 4.5, surely it's good to point out the ways that it could get a score of 5. Definitely needs covering, that lamppost on the left. I'm going to point out the one bit that I didn't like the most when we get to it. But again, any criticisms that I put towards tracks on this stream, you've got to take it into... This is the bit on the left there. That's horrible. That needs to just be a wall. Just a flat wall. You'd save on prop usage as well, because at the minute it's using 2 barriers for no reason. Yeah, it has to be taken into context of the fact that these are already tracks that are of a high standard. They're already of a good enough quality to be on these showcase streams and get good scores in the first place. So, of course, all of my any criticism I make is nitpicking, but that's just the nature of it. Whew, that was quite the overtake on the outside. I love this car so much. Alright, last lap. I probably could have done this on 3 laps again and put one too many laps. Wait, it's not last lap yet. It will be in a few corners time, but yeah. I've been off with 2 tracks, I think, which have been a bit longer than they could have been, but... Oh no, this was the last lap, so it was about right. Sweet. Second for life again. I think I was second in the playlist as well. So absolutely bang on second for life. Now we know why that is a thing. Fun track. So that's the 7 tracks for this week's showcase. These are normally every 2 weeks, but I'm actually going to be doing the Xbox showcase next week, and then the PC showcase the week after that. So yeah, it is going to be for the next 3 Saturdays in a row. We're going to be here streaming on YouTube, doing some track showcases. Again, we always go through all the platforms, PS4 first, then Xbox, then PC, showcasing the best tracks on each platform as they've been submitted and voted on. You should do a stream where you play all the lowest rated tracks. Should be fun, maybe on Twitch. I might do that. Either the lowest rated tracks or tracks that get like 3.9 something that are close to being verified. That kind of thing. Yeah, I have proven the second for life thing many times. That's true. It is my most common position. Second in the playlist as well. Second for life. Considering the first 2 races were pretty bad from a performance perspective, it's not bad coming in second in the playlist in the end. But yeah, the podcast, both NOS and RDT aren't around for the podcast next week. So there's no podcast. Right, 1 lap. Let's do... Let's do sedans. With slipstream on. Again, this race at the end, it's always just 1 lap, just for a bit of fun, just to close us out. Let's put oh, it's a stunt race, so I can't put weather on. I was going to put it on rain. Never mind. Basically a Shafter V12 race, yes. Yeah, that's the reason that I've never done the playing the lowest rated tracks. Well, on one hand, there's always too many tracks that need playing that are high enough rated to be verified. So there's never kind of a lull in racing, in the amount of tracks that we have to play. I do have a Shafter V12. I was wondering if I did, but also, I don't want to name and shame, you know, the lowest rated tracks, the people who created them. So that's why I've never done it in the past. So I'm still on the fence about doing that. So again, this is the final race that we do. The same track at the end of the playlist every single week. It's always just there's 20 players on this race, so it limits the playlist to only allow 20 players in as well. As the blimp says, thanks for watching. And we always just do a little bit of something a little bit more fun. Random cars with slipstream on, you know, we've done it with vans 1 week, we did it with Pantos with catch-up on in 1 week. It just kind of messing around. Again, I only put this track in so that we can limit the playlist to 20 players. But obviously we just make sure to finish the race at the end so we can finish the playlist. Right or wrong? That worked alright. That wasn't good though. Oh no. It's gonna have the slipstream on me. And once again, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you for coming to these streams. Thank you for all the support you always show me. Hopefully, with the return of these streams, am I going to win my first Drag Kings of LS20 race at the end of one of these streams? Success! Going backwards. But yeah, thank you guys for the support. Hopefully you've found some good tracks to play and download for yourself. Again, we play on all the platforms, so how did someone end up here? Rigged. Yeah, that one isn't linked below. That's my very first created track in all of existence that I created on the day that the creator was released in 2013. For those who don't know the history behind that track. But yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying and finding some good tracks to use. And I appreciate you guys coming here to watch. And even if the streams aren't on the platform that you're on, so you're not going to actually be able to download any of the tracks yourself, I think it's always helpful if you're creating tracks. You can still get ideas from other people's creations and things to do, things not to do, all that kind of stuff. He got launched up there at the very start. Oh, really? Wow. But yeah, that'll just about do us for today. I think racing. So, oh my god, with that, because AJ Axel was on the roof and came in last and did DNF'd, I ended up winning the playlist by 5 points. That doesn't really count though. The playlist really realistically ends after the 7 races for anything that we would consider. Of course. GG Axel. So yeah, I think it's going to be better to play sort of tracks that are rated 3.5, 3.6, 3.7, 3.9, stuff like that, to give people an idea of what they would need to do extra to get verified and get a score of 4, rather than do it the other way, and play the lowest rated tracks. But that's for the future. We'll see. We've still got plenty of tracks to play through, at least on PS4 and PC, so we're not going to have to cross that bridge for a while yet. Thank you guys again. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks for all the support. The lava lamp is on, full blob. It's doing well. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Hopefully we saw some good races. I think we had some good races there. Some good actual races, not just the tracks. It was a lot of fun. And I'll see you guys in a week's time. We'll be back on YouTube in a week's time with Xbox tracks. Thanks for watching, everybody. And thank you down below to our super chatter, DG5IV as well. Thank you, guys. See you all in a week's time. Bye-bye.